She called the cops on me for lurking near her house. Said I was trespassing and didn't belong in this neighborhood. But what Karen didn't know. I wasn't some random guy wandering the cul-de-sac. I'm the developer who built this entire neighborhood from the ground up, every sidewalk, fence, and square foot. I still own 3 lots and chair the HOA Land Committee. And when I found out what Karen had been doing behind the scenes, oh, she messed with the wrong blueprint. Trespasser, or founder. My name's Adam Reeve. I'm 58 years old, a licensed contractor, and a real estate developer. 8 years ago, I broke ground on a modest housing development in northern Arizona, 52 homes, a community park, a shared garden, and a clubhouse. We called it Willow Hills. It was my passion project, something I designed from scratch, approved through the city, and built with my own crew over 2 years. Even after the homes were sold, I stayed involved. I kept ownership of 3 rental properties inside the community, sat on the HOA Land Review Board, and visited often. So imagine my surprise when a woman I didn't recognize called the cops on me for standing near Lot 17, which I still legally own. The confrontation: I was inspecting one of my properties after a storm, checking gutters and siding damage, when a woman stormed out from across the street. She had the haircut. She had the little dog. She had the clipboard. "Excuse me," she snapped. "Can I help you? This is a private community." I smiled. "I'm good, thanks." She didn't move. "I've never seen you before. You need to leave before I report you for trespassing." I looked around at the house I literally commissioned and said, "Ma'am, I'm standing on my own property." That set her off. She whipped out her phone. "I'm calling the HOA and the sheriff. You people think you can just walk around here?" Enter the police. 15 minutes later, 2 county officers rolled up. Karen waved them down dramatically. "That's him. That's the guy I told you about. He was taking photos of houses." The officers approached calmly. "Sir, we got a report of suspicious activity in the area. May we ask your name?" "Adam Reeve." One officer blinked. "The Adam Reeve?" I smiled. "You know Willow Hills? My sister bought one of your homes 3 years ago. She says it's the nicest neighborhood she's ever lived in." Karen's eyes widened. "Wait, you built this place?" "Yes," I said. "And I still own this house right here. You're welcome to check the county land records." They did. Right there on the spot. Karen went pale. "But that was just the beginning. You'd think that would be the end of it. Awkward apology, we move on." But not with Karen. 2 days later, I received an official violation letter from the HOA. Apparently, someone had reported me for lurking on private property, photographing neighbor yards, harassing homeowners. During inspection I nearly laughed. Then I saw the signature: Karen Winslow, HOA president. Yes, somehow, she'd wormed her way into the role 2 months earlier. I attended the next board meeting, sat quietly in the back, and listened as she laid out a new motion: no unaccompanied men are to be allowed near shared HOA spaces without prior approval. This includes garden plots, sidewalks, and clubhouses. For safety. It wasn't about me anymore. It was personal, and dangerous. And she was about to find out that this trespasser held the deed to her downfall. The man who owned the map. Digging into her blueprint of control after that meeting, I went home and reviewed the original bylaws I personally helped draft when Willow Hills was formed. I also looked at the HOA amendment logs, which board presidents are required to file with the county when changes are made. Karen had submitted 4 unapproved rules: behavioral standards, near HOA-owned plots, mandatory ID checks for visiting non-residents, use restrictions on community sidewalks, and worst of all, limiting owner rights unless they actively reside in the home. It was bold and illegal. So I called an HOA general vote under Clause 6b, a clause I wrote that allows land committee members to challenge any president's authority by community referendum. Karen never saw it coming. The meeting that undid her 2 weeks later, over 30 homeowners filled the clubhouse for the special vote. I stood in front, holding a stack of printed maps, permits, and property records. Before this neighborhood existed, this was just dirt, I began. My name is Adam Reeve, and I've lived here, in one way or another, since day zero. I pulled up a poster-sized image of the original land plan, with my signature on the bottom. Then I projected Karen's new rules on screen. Highlighted what was missing: no board approval, no resident input, no legal backing, and no filing with the county clerk. Karen stood up mid-speech. "This is personal. He's just mad I called the cops." Someone from the crowd yelled, "You accused the guy who built your street of trespassing." Laughter rippled through the room. The vote. When it came time to vote, residents were ready. The motion to remove Karen passed 27-3. A second motion barred her from holding any board position for 5 years. And the final motion? A formal public apology to me, signed by the HOA and posted on the community bulletin board for 30 days. Karen stormed out mid-count. And that was the last time she tried to tell anyone where they did or didn't belong. Epilogue: reclaiming the ground I poured. I still walk the neighborhood weekly. Sometimes I inspect the sidewalks I poured by hand. Sometimes I help the maintenance crew prune the olive trees I planted. Other times, I just enjoy seeing families enjoying the homes I helped design. Karen now lives quietly in Unit 12. She parks inside her garage, avoids board meetings, and walks her dog fast and with her head down. Every time she walks past Lot 17, she sees the new plaque the HOA voted to install. Founding developer's home, respect where it started. Some people build fences. Some people build power. But some of us? We build the whole neighborhood. Love true stories where HOA bullies and fake power plays get crushed by facts, law, and poetic justice? Hit that subscribe button for more HOA takedowns, viral Karen showdowns, and stories built from the ground up, delivered weekly.